Rise is going to leave the Rift. Easy, never going to see that champion. Most specific tournament. Fix it. Possibly looking to pick up their mid laner for that final pick. Remember, Twisted Fate is still available. Twisted Fate and Rek'Sai are still gone.
Pull Twitch is in the back pocket of the current AD carry for obvious reasons. You're seeing it. A high ranged carry can complement the team better, as well as having the chick in there, EasyHoon on the Azir. So what they've now done is stipended that range much more effectively. They have a well-rounded team composition, better than what they had before. Not just mixed damage, not just crowd control. They actually have stipended ranges, and they're much more maneuverable.
There certainly are a little bit more flexibility here. And of course, Caveman had a good game on the Braum. At the same time as now WE thinking about Victor as their final pickup. Twisted Fate, man. I think it's the two of us.
They're the best. Are they not the best?
Yeah. The two of us are able to understand exactly what WE are going to do. And the Twisted Fate is going to be locked in. I love it. Out of this team. Just avoid what is a brilliant 5v5 from Vici. Get around the map and still have that Maokai insurance.
I mean, what I love the most about this is that by picking Twisted Fate, you usually force a cleanse on the middle laner. So EasyHoon, he wasn't going to run teleport anyway.
Yeah.
But it means that he actually can't sit in side lanes as effectively.
No.
It really does set them up nicely for a 1-3-1. Condi as well, if they really wanted to, could put him in a side lane and have Xie group.
Well, that's the thing. They theoretically have 4 teleports.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of wave clear as well. Zero helps that out on Karma. They can sit in a 1-3-1. I think their team fighting is still strong. They've got a mix between physical and magic. Nice ranges as well as just high burst.
So coaches for WE definitely putting in overtime, working out how their drafts are going to work, because this looks beautifully constructed for the moment, but it's all about the execution. And if this game once again goes to that 70-minute mark, I have a feeling that the tools in the Vici card deck are looking super powerful. Coaches are going to shake hands, though. Let's get into game number 2 between WE and Vici. Thank you very much, Dandy, but we are, of course, going to start this one out with a little bit of a pause. So we're having a look at Xie on your screen right now, the man with the Twisted Fate, seeing what he can do. And as we move into this game, of course, Vici, last time around, did start off a lane swap. And Rusty, are you thinking like maybe something like that to happen again?
Yeah, I think a lane swap's always going to be a possibility. It seems to be an expectation between both of these teams as well. I mean, very heavy map movement, high cerebral levels of play. They are very high level, so it would be unsurprising, honestly, if they didn't. I think they absolutely should be.
Yeah, and of course Twitch probably wanting to avoid a little bit of that laning phase scenario, even if he does have a little bit of added benefit with you know, a different support sitting there in his lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that they have the Twitch means they might want to hide it. But really, they just want to blow the towers open. So the flip side, Team WE, they'd be content with it also, simply because the Twisted Fate can use the ultimate and catch people out in what is a deep lane now. The turrets are taken. But that also could mean that they mind game each other. Last game we saw neutral vision plays from both. So a lane swap was not a thing.
And right now, Mystic and Caveman are just eyeing each other off here on the bottom side of the map. We'll see whether now any movements come in. It's about 1 minute.
Yeah, they're going to blind recall and lane swap, you would imagine. Avoiding vision where they're recalling from, so it's smart. But the response, entirely capable from WE. We'll see how they want to play this one out. I would imagine they actually want those standard lanes.
Yeah, so P heading towards the top side. There's lots of pings down onto where GA is located.
It's funny, this is like a 1%er, essentially. It's like, yes, they want standard lanes, but if they don't, it's perfectly fine. The 1%er is that they get the standard.
Well, you can see Vici going to head into this standard lane scenario. Gromp looking to be started as well from the team, as both jungler and top laners. Going to start on the bottom side of the map. GA, red card at the ready, throws it into the back line. Easy Hoon, we'll see whether he can get the work done here on this Azir. Level 2 will be a pretty strong point for the Golden Chicken.
Yeah, absolutely will be. And so we are upside down. Which means Dragon is going to be an interesting question, because usually these standard lanes, if you don't want them, you try and push and then hide yourself. Maybe you clear the wave as fast as you can, then go back towards bottom. As they both hit level 2, honestly, I don't see too much of an issue for these guys. The question is when they actually want to look for the Drake. I don't think we've seen which Drake it is, however.
Not just yet.
If it's something like an Infernal, Ocean, or Mountain, I mean, those three definitely you would look towards. Say Infernal above the rest, though, this early.
Interesting.
It's a Mountain, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. So, Mountain Drake once again going to be the first Dragon. Of course, was in game number 1. Is going to be again game number 2. Of course, Vici, very much like that Dragon. They like to be able to take things down, such as neutral objectives, such as turrets. She took some harassment here in the mid lane, but just wanting to load up that deck, kill as many creeps as possible, get that little bit of extra gold, you know, just feel good about his life. And then affect the rest of the map where he can.
Everyone gets those passives mixed up. Stacked deck and loaded dice.
Yeah, I know, but
I love the loaded deck as the hybrid of it, though.
Yeah,
that's great.
Just thought I'd hit a middle ground and hope.
The stacked dice.
Yeah.
So they have actually put this into effect. As expected, so Vici did want the lane swap. They were looking to hide their AD carry to scale him through. Now they go to the bottom side of the map. It's not like W said, oh, look, where have they gone? They're absolutely going to try and match them. The question now is, because the slight edge, every time you're the one that recalls first, you get a slight advantage.
Well, we saw Mystic was able to grab a few more creeps heading in towards that turret, as long as able to catch it eventually. But this is a big creep wave. Chuan might be able to actually freeze something up, take this away from the turret. But at the moment, Mystic just shoving it through as best he can.
Yeah, that's exactly what he should be looking to do. We are seeing, once again, a pretty slow style of League of Legends played. Very high-level movements from these teams. Always trying to be one step ahead of the other. The lane swaps help with the Drake to be taken down, but it's not the ultimate goal. They want to hide their AD carry. That's just the added bonus. The jungler's currently on another playing field entirely. And to see how they start actually playing this one out, if they're going to look for ganks. Remember that Graves is happy farming. Rek'Sai wants to get something done. But with the constantly readjusting and moving lane assignments, it doesn't become the easiest thing to do. You have to be predictive, which isn't something that WE suck at by any means. They're quite good at it.
Yeah. Oh, Mystic. Nice Mystic shot there. Onto the Twitch. GA is going to be able to grab the first blue. This one's going to go down. There's the flash forward. Immediate exhaust onto Zero as the teleport's coming in from Long. Caveman takes a lot of damage as Dandy is going to get the work done. First blood is going to go to Long as everyone uses all of their summoner spells. Long dies after picking that one up, but oh my god, Zero has already fallen. GA able to teleport in, grabs the work. And that is going to be an even trade of 2 for 2.
And 5 minutes in the game, there is 10 people bottom. That was ridiculous stuff. Both of these teams reacting immediately. They are all on the ball. But the upper hand still definitely gained by WE. Super ballsy stuff. But remember, an early game Twisted Fate excels with all of the gold cards that he can pull out with that teleport gank. They get themselves 2 big kills.
Yeah, and that was, of course, the teleport that had to be used is only level 5, but my god, already the map movements from this team available.
Yeah,
very good from WE.
He'll be level 6 and he'll still have his ultimate. He's got a Negatron cloak in this lane, so any advantages that EasyHoon had are slightly diffused. Sandy says thank you.
Oh, it was very cute. Condy put a lot of time and effort into that one. But does have himself a pink ward here. We'll see whether they go for any sort of early dragon. No summoner spells remain for the bottom lane of Vici. There's the Mantra Q, there's the Destiny. So Xuan not going to be able to ambush his way out of this one. And there's the slow. Condi, of course, he's also got his passive. So there is no way that this rat can do anything.
Oh, no. They absolutely have the sonar radar to spot him out. He actually stood still there, Twitch. He moved into the next bush and decided that if I stand still, maybe they won't find me. They absolutely knew where he was. And another easy pick up there. As Shea hitting level 6 turns on the tempo. WE continuing to turn on the tempo across the board, honestly. Twitch not having a great time on Summoner's Rift. Having a bad time.
Certainly is not. And we hadn't sort of identified that just yet, that this is one of the most disgusting anti-Twitch comps that you could possibly have.
Yeah, Rek'Sai is surprisingly good as a counter to it. You remember, like, sieging scenarios where you can just sit there and be underground. He won't be able to get those flanks on you. Makes life a lot easier. Twisted Fate as well, being able to spot him if they do see any bleeps on the ground.
Splooches. It's Condi hanging around his red buff. Lots of vision available here from Vici towards the top side of the map. Very deep as well. As you can see, Dandy was trying to get some work done. Tracker's Knife helping him out there.
The scary thing is, I don't think this is going to slow down in terms of tempo. WE, when Shea gets ahead, play an unreasonably fast style of League of Legends, and it's something that we very rarely see from them.
Yeah, this is how they play fast, is purely through their mid lane. You're exactly right.
And he very rarely gets this far ahead. He always lanes well, but you don't often see a 2-0-1 Twisted Fate at 7 minutes with 60 farm anyway. Now, EasyHoon is farming exceptionally well.
Yeah.
For 7 minutes to be on time with the clock says a lot. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to help your team. Even the Sheen pickup, that is like, I'm killing everybody.
Yeah, 20% CDI here as well with the Lucidity boots done. This guy is going to have his Destiny up very, very soon. Condi, once again, makes his way towards the top side. He's going to see whether he can get any work done onto EasyHoon here, who does have the Cleanse Flash available. Will be able to get himself out of any gold cards setting things up. Danny going to make his way across as well.
And the farm game is definitely where Vici want to lie.
Yeah, it's all about just
scaling.
Control right now, isn't it?
Yeah, they just want to get there as quick as they can towards a late game where they can fight as a 5-man unit. Utilize that Twitch once he has completed items. And at the moment, it's going to take a while to get there. Bridging that gap, it's going to be difficult to do, simply because of how this has started out. And Ezreal with a tier actually having an advantage in a laning phase. Doesn't spell the best situation.
Well, you can see Condi able to take down his red buff. Now heading towards the top lane by the looks of things. His Arcane Smash isn't going to find long. And there's the Destiny. Once again, it's going to be the Echo now. The focus here as he gets smashed out of his Parallel Convergence. Doesn't get any stuns. And Condi just says, oh, no, I'll help out, I guess. May as well hang out here. Wildcards grab a third kill for GA.
And off cooldown, you'll see the Twisted Fate using the ultimate again. Finally, the Drake will be looked at least. Dandy making a response. It'll be a very quick and handy one to pick up.
Mountain Drakes have a lot of health. No, not going to be anything done here from WE.
No. They can't respond at all. It attacks slowly as well. It doesn't actually do much damage. They just have the numbers advantage here. But still, that's a 3-0-1 Twisted Fate, and that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that all eyes are going to continue to be on. Only is the Maokai holding his own. It gives avenues of attack. Bottom lane still poking them out, so... I mean, he's close to his teleport. He could actually just look down there without using the ult. Speaking of...
There's a ward. And
here's
the teleport. 957 already here to try and set this one up. Danny going to quick draw his way across, but you can see there's the flash forward. Zero wants to be able to lock down the jungler. Emperor's Divide comes in. It's not going to be enough, though, as GA picks up the kill. Lung right in the backline. GA not a whole lot of mana, and Zero completely out, but the gold card's still going to be there. Caveman trying to help. EasyHoon trying to help, but that's the damage already done here for WE, and 4 kills for GA.
Yeah, so they find Dandy looking at the blue buff. The movements around the map from WE at the moment are just making this second game an absolute pleasure to watch. The gold lead hasn't stretched to anything unreasonable, but it is continuing to grow. They're just winning laning phase. At WE, they're the one team that I would say in the LPL that you do not want to win laning phase.
Oh, no.
Because of how quickly they can snowball the consecutive lanes from it.
And they play a style of League of Legends that doesn't require them to win the laning phase, and they don't often do it.
Exactly. They have an average game time of about 40 minutes. With the one time that CA tried Vladimir, like the week before it became meta, they won in 26. It says a lot about what this team is capable of if you get them an eye in an opportunity.
And I just didn't understand that when I observed that game, just because Vladimir, not supposed to be strong, 26 minutes theoretically, but...
Well, he was strong at level 1.
Yeah.
He tower dove at level 4, I believe.
Well, you know, sometimes when you're GA, you want to be tower diving.
Yeah, and even with
remember that Nautilus game.
Even with the Karma here, though, like, WE is so hard to kill, to lock down, to actually establish. And this is the big concern that we had looking at Game 1 drafting from Vici as well, is the committal CC is tough to execute on. They actually need a Braum passive probably to lock him down first. Actually get the stuns off. So Caveman's invaluable. And without that, it's not easy to hit the parallel convergence every time. It's not as easy to hit EasyHoon's ultimate on that Azir. They have to play impeccably. And they cannot, like, pixel perfect.
So far, it certainly hasn't been that. Snare being looked at there. Caveman not going to get it, though.
With vision on the bottom side.
Yeah.
Vici have definitely understood the problem. But doesn't mean that WE aren't answering that problem with...
Oh, that is so frustrating. Consider easy tilted. That gold card, sorry, red card did a lot of damage. That's an Abyssal Scepter done.
Yep.
GA. K.
Casual. He has his ult, has his flash, even has teleport. They could look bottom and dive with the Rek'Sai. He's on the bottom side of the map.
30% CDR is well done here for Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and then Dandy was top side.
Oh my god, he's so strong. And I love it when you pick up Lucidity Boots, getting that early Abyssal Scepter, having the magic penetration as GA moves down, and they as soon as he's off the map, Dunzo. He's even got stack deck built up as he holds the gold card. EasyHoon has to shift some sands away.
The presence that GA has on the map right now is disgusting. It is so impressive to watch. They want to contest everything. I don't think the red will be, but they were looking at a dive. They're zoning away Xuan.
Well, that's a whole wave that just died to the turret. 111 CS to 87 here is how WE have managed to
And look at the way that GA is
leads.
playing. As a slight veer to the right of the lane is like, you have to zone yourself.
Yep.
If you don't zone yourself, you're going to actually get dove from it. So Dandy now has to be down here. EasyHoon has to try and focus on controlling the middle lane. If he wastes time leaving, then he'll fall behind. And it's like, is this a situation where we just like cut off the arm to save the body type of thing? Or I don't know if there are many winning scenarios in terms of decision-making that Vici have besides committing to a 5v5 or a 4v4, being there first and winning it. And that's hard to do because Twisted Fate's already 4-0.
He's now moving up towards the top side of the map. Very low on mana. Is EasyHoon and Dandy going to be taking down this blue buff? Of course, that means that Vici have to vacate the bottom lane entirely.
It does. And that's exactly what they've done at the moment. So the tower will fall eventually. And what looks like a 2v2 is actually an assumed 4v2. The presence that WE have on the map forces them off it. Actually just recalled. No, sorry. They just walked towards the jungle. Shan P's a jungler now.
Well, Arm Guard now going to be started here from GA, so not deciding to finish that Lich Bane, wants to get to the Zhonya's, get to that 40% CDR as well, which is very important. Start getting underneath turrets, and then going golden.
Yeah, he's not going to be too far off it, honestly. As far as game starts go for WE, they have 2 ways to play this out as well. Knowing them and adoring them endlessly, which is a very unusual thing to say.
Oh, shit.
You come to like them.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but playing for 50 minutes just feels appropriate, and you get so used to them doing it.
Yeah, and also, you know, when you spend so much time with a team, you just you start to build up that affection, Rusty.
What's that called?
Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome. That's what we've got. We've been stuck with WE for so long that you learn to love them for what they are.
Yep. Even
No,
if
but they
have
really
you
are,
trapped
like-
in League of Legends for this long.
You really can appreciate them because they understand what they're doing and you understand what they're doing. There is a happy middle ground to be met there. And the reason I say this as well is WE, they might have a 4-0-1 mid laner, but they could still play this one out slow. They could absolutely still look towards a late game team fight, knowing that the Twisted Fate will outscale and get to his items quicker, hit Splack in power sooner, and then they just hit the big objective contest, whether it's a Dragon or a Baron. Options are always going to be theirs.
Well, Cowboy is actually going to make his way towards the Dragon area. Looks like blue buff will be the priority, as now Zero, of course, all the disengage in the world. In fact, this is probably the safest bottom lane in the history of bottom lanes that have existed on Summoner's Rift, because they are so fast, so maneuverable.
I'd challenge that and say Thresh Callista is...
that's also pretty good. The leapfrog tactic.
Yeah, the double save. But well, that's a level 6 thing.
Yeah.
These two at level 2 are probably safer.
Well, at the moment, Mystic and Zero definitely playing like they can throw caution to the wind. Saminate will come down, though. Give Mystic a little bit of hurt. Actually, no, it won't, because Zero's got a shield, so never mind. Some decent pressure has been gained, though, here by Vici towards the bottom side, with all the wave clear coming out of Shrine at the moment. Ghostblade is now done as well for the Twitch, but he's behind by a heck of a lot of farm.
Yeah, and I guess we look at the Hoon.
Yeah.
See, Azir's scaling. He's got a lot of farm. We have to see what he can get done. Now he's finished a complete item, and he's working towards his second. I think once that Rylai's is done, he's actually going to be a force running around this rift. Needs to be respected, honestly, as they're not doing it.
Yeah,
they're waiting for cooldowns.
It was being looked at there, but of course, WE can be in the vicinity very, very quickly. Of course, look at the line of tunnels that Condi has already set up. He can get into his jungle very, very effectively. And Dandy now looking for a gank on the bottom lane.
His sound pack in the LPL is hilarious.
It is. It's real silly.
Yeah, Cogmore, by the way.
Yeah.
So evil. It actually has the most evil sound pack on this client.
He's a void monster.
No, it's really evil. Like,
all right.
I'm not saying like the evil monster isn't evil. He sounds like he is a serial killer that's like gargling.
A gargling
He's
serial
gargling
killer.
Void.
Oh my god.
Or something, I don't know.
Gotta get that on Twitter. Yeah, able to take down a pink ward, though. That is definitely good news. Been a while since we've seen the Destiny, as Void Rush is going to come out from Condi, gets him back into his jungle. 957 heading back to base. Might be able to grab himself some armor. Definitely much needed.
So much presence. Again, that's the biggest thing to me. Is momentum, how they actually establish themselves on the map. WE have control. Vici don't feel confident doing their second Mountain Drake. Something they absolutely have been putting a lot of time and effort towards. Dandy's even had to start conceding parts of his own jungle to the bottom lane because they just don't feel comfortable farming. And they start conceding turrets. Simply because the Twisted Fate will clear the wave. And look at where he stands. Generally speaking, just out of vision. Like, just out of vision. Until he needs to be there. And that just freaks them out. So, where is he? Like, at all times, you don't actually know.
Jie as well. He's ahead of the clock. But Easy Hoon's ahead of the clock by 30 CS.
Yeah.
It's just really, really dumb. To be on 210 already.
Easy Hoon knows.
He is their insurance policy. He is what Vici are banking on right now.
That
the eggs in the Hoon basket are mounting, Rusty.
Yeah, he's going off at the moment with farm. He's scaling. He's not going to be too far away from his item probably as well, his second one. Considering that there's a Zonia's now completed for Xie, diving turrets is definitely a thing. Dying under them is a thing of the past.
And he's got 40% CDR. Destiny's just going to be spinning like a clock.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the itemization changes, right? Is Xie is effectively a tank that still has max CDR Twisted Fate benefited so much from the item changes.
Yeah.
Getting 10% from the Abyssal and the Zhonya's Hourglass.
Doesn't need to build it at all, really. Just stick with the regular item
Well,
path.
it means you don't have to go Morello's
Yeah.
into Lucidity Boost and kind of have to max that CDR first but be susceptible to death. Means he's reasonably tanky whilst also doing damage, and here they go.
Yeah, Destiny right underneath this turret. There's the gold card. Caveman picks it up. Unbreakable's going to stop that from coming in. Mystic, though, he's able to pick up the kill. Zonya's comes out from GA. It's another day in the office. All too easy for the Twisted Fate.
Oh, the teleports, though.
Yeah, everyone turning around, trying to get something done here as Zero, unfeared by the teleport. Just going to walk at the Echo, who just runs back towards the top lane. You can see Dandy was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that's the big problem. I was actually about to mention that as well. Dandy's just gone. He is walking elsewhere on the map at the moment. They will lose this turret, you'd imagine, unless Easyhoon goes God mode. But against the Twisted Fate, it's pretty hard to defend. Thankfully, Cleanse and all of the farm in the world will actually keep Easyhoon within walking distance, I suppose, within reach of his opposition, because that's 2 items.
It certainly is. 233 as well. My God, yeah. And to finish your item spike, like your 2-item power spike by 20 minutes, it's pretty damn good. Right, Mr. Easyhoon.
But that's still a bad sign here. The Twitch is getting damage, but it's not quick enough. The Ezreal is already putting in work 2 completed items himself.
Yeah, that's the items you want as an Ezreal as well. He's super happy.
Yeah, and the Braum's just not able to block enough damage. They've got flanks ready to go at all times. Whilst he did block the flash stun, however, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It got himself killed.
GA is now able to Destiny once again. And he's actually moving into position as there it is. Xuan once again going to be falling down. Unbreakable comes down as Caveman just going to be the focus of GA. The rest of the team is going to be able to take down the Twitch. And now this burly man is going to fall.
Gold card. As if nothing else could go wrong for the Braum. 5-0-2 right now. They are pushing in the middle lane, but the threat is also on the top side. Dandy and Easyhoon are actually on their way up here.
They're going to try and stop something because, of course, it's only support
so
and
TF
AD
has
carry
teleport.
fighting. Oh, Zero, you sneaky butt. Oh, God.
They want the teleports in. TF's in.
Yeah, nice flash. Gets Zero to safety as well as they have to respect him. Mystic! Whee! Okay. Arcane Shift gets him to relative safety, but didn't need to sacrifice an entire health bar.
Yeah.
That was real scary.
Mystic needed to respect, but he didn't. Of course, doing a lot of damage himself. Got too hyphy. WE, they have the response again. The Twisted Fate ults bottom. Has teleport to get back as it is. Everything's still looking really positive for this team. Easyhoon and Dandy, though, starting to show signs of resilience. There is definitely still fight in this team.
It certainly is.
We're nearing a point where they might actually be content with looking for a team fight themselves, even though the Twisted Fate's big. That's actually really big, though, for a Twisted Fate. That's 3 items.
3 items. And his Lucidity Boots already completed. He's 40 CS down. You look at that number and you're like, oh, no, this is awful.
He has ult up. He'll probably one-hit the Twitch, but he's going top.
Yeah, Long actually in trouble now as well as the gold card immediately comes in.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, Mystic just Arcane Shifts on top of him and Long is going to die. And it's just another day in the office. It just looks all too easy from WE. Because already a quarter of that cooldown's down.
Yeah.
For Destiny. It's so silly.
I mean, there's just no such thing as an overextension at the moment that Vici can afford to take. If they're not grouped up, if there's not 3 people in one place, you're probably going to get killed. Echo can no longer afford to split push in a situation where he's not at his turret. Even then, there's the Zhonya's to dive him, and they just did a damage test on it. You're trying to base race a Lichbane Twisted Fate and an Ezreal.
Good luck.
You're not going to win that race.
However, they are going to be able to take down the same amount of turrets as outer and inner do fall on
They're going
top
to
and
Baron,
bottom side.
just so you know.
Yeah, okay.
They're bluffing that Vici are going to recall with 957 there, who doesn't have teleport. But between these 3, they do have a lot of damage. Easyhoon.
Yeah, Zero attempting to zone. As Easyhoon, oh my god, he needs to be the hero for this team. But look at how low this Baron already is. Down to 2,000 health. Condi's right in this pit. will be able to smite that one away. Sansol just doing some work as he's able to get over the top. Easyhoon uses his ultimate, but my god, Mystic does some damage. Dandy is well in trouble over to the side. Nice Unbreakable blocks the ultimate as GA uses his Zhonya's, will fall in the end. Lung able to lock down the kill. Dandy very, very low as Bondi already back in amongst it. Lung's got a double kill. But Dandy's going to fall on the back end. 957 now tanking up this Twitch as best he can. Mystic.
Oh, Mystic.
Yep, not going to take too much of the damage, but it is going to be enough. Lung grabs a triple kill. Caveman's going to die. Condi and 957 are a different battle to what this one is. And they're just so tanky. Xuan lucky to survive, but my god, Lung is a hero. That was Vici squad.
Yeah, that was massive from Lung. He actually completely outplays Mystic. I do hope we see it here. Easyhoon just gets ruined. Like, Mystic's damage is unreasonably large, and Xie was caught on a flank. This is where it all kicks off. So, takes down the first member. And Vici actually showing a lot of signs of life here again. You just have to remember the dense objects that is a Maokai and a Rek'Sai don't ever look like backing off. This is the really good ult, though, from Lung. This outplays Mystic. Like getting the stun, like not getting the stun, sorry, getting the shield from it, and then just triple tapping him once more once the passive re-enables. Mystic's dodge was towards his team, but it's not going to save him. If that fight was on even gold, there was a chance that Xuan and Lung were going to outright ace them.
Yeah. Really scary stuff. And WE, 957 top the damage.
He does that sometimes.
Interesting stuff. Top lane has really taken over that team fight, but Baron in the end did fall in favor of WE. Vici grabbing 3 kills. Isn't going to be able to keep the Baron off Condi and 957 though, as now this Infernal Drake is going to fall. The second dragon for WE, third of the game. There's a mountain apiece, and another mountain is actually going to be spawning next.
He wanted that. Twisted Fate really wanted to find him alone. And let's be honest, the only reason that was such a close fight is because they played it well. They killed CA at the start.
Yeah.
That's the most fed member on the team. He did 1,000 damage. If they can start a fight like that again, where CA is in a position to do damage, he will one-hit the Twitch, and things will be completely different.
Yeah. But now, Siege is on. So, the wave clear has finally arrived. Easyhoon making his way around. Ultimate still available here from Xuan as well. As the Twitch with a Hurricane actually is going to be able to knock down minion waves quite quickly.
But it puts him in range of Mystic poking with the Ezreal's Q. So we'll see how this actually pans out. Knowing they've got a Baron buff, Easyhoon doesn't have the best time. They've got a lot of poke.
So much poke.
WE.
Whoa, that Lich Bane. Okay, so able to take down this inner turret. Condi tunnels forward, looking to try and get something done.
He's threatening.
Yeah, 957 as well. He's just pushing towards the mid lane. The top wave is actually pushing forward here for WE as well. Rinse and repeat as they move around the map.
Yeah, so these are the easy turrets to take.
Oh my god. Every time it gets hit by a card from a Twisted Fate, so much damage to these structures, especially with the Mountain Drake really working out for them as well. And it's an 8,000 gold lead now, Rusty.
Yeah, they've stretched that gold lead to pretty unreasonable amounts. Easyhoon's trying his absolute hardest. He does have most of the gold on the side of Vici with Lung. They can teamfight if they execute impeccably or just like without a single mistake. But this is the point that they're at. They can't make a single mistake. Otherwise, they'll get completely rinsed out by CA's Twisted Fate damage. 957 and Condi are probably just never going to die from this point. Unless they dive a Nexus. But you know what? That's possible. They might do that.
Very possible.
But they're just, like, so tanky.
The 2 Sentinels of the front line.
They're actually just Titans.
Yeah. Titans is a better word. G8 is going to be able to lock down his blue buff, head towards the bottom side, continue splitting. Does have Destiny, teleport available, everything that he'd like. And now with that needlessly large rod sitting in his back pocket, we'll see whether it's going to go towards Rabadon's Death Cap, you know, Luden's Echo, wants some more movement speed, who knows. Could just pick up anything he wants, really. Cask flies out.
But Vici have made a group themselves. The problem is Xie will just destroy their base if they stay here for too long, so someone will respond. Twisted Fate can't exactly fight the Echo. I think he will, and it could go reasonably even. But if Lung gets the jump and continues the 3 passive proc, you'll find that it's very difficult for Xie to kite him unless he instantly gold cards and stops the 3 passive from connecting. They know he's here.
Yeah, there's a ward in that brush. He's going to move away. Lung throws out the Time Winder, so Twisted Fate, we'll see whether he assesses his options, sees whether he can actually take this one down as gold card. Going to be wandered towards Lung. Now WE continue the siege.
And it's a 1-3-1, so they've got the Ezreal Karma, and Rek'Sai's never going to die, so he can stand in front and protect them as the Ezreal just delivers all of the pain. Xie can sit here, and it can be perfectly fine because he can rotate with 2 different means, and the Maokai is the actual threat, the sleeper cell in the WE team.
The one thing I really like is how Xie has been playing this as well. I mean, he hasn't been trying to engage on the Echo because he knows that he's probably going to be the most consistent point of attack, given the fact that he is sort of the one with all of the map mobility.
Yeah, he also just can't fight him.
That's a good point.
No matter how fed you are, you'll see this.
Yeah, red card does come down as Dandy's going to come in. Zhonya's comes out. He's going to try and Destiny away. And gets out. Just fine.
What,
Caveman.
Okay. I don't think Caveman knew how much health he had. It could have been a kill. Either way, he does get out. Well played from CA. At least really to live. Played. But he is the point of focus, as you mentioned. WE's response gets them nothing.
6 turrets, however, to 3. So they at least use that Baron buff, grab themselves a couple of inner turrets. But you're right, no base broken. And as soon as...
Easyhoon's huge.
Yeah, Easyhoon is massive. There's also, you know, a 3rd item almost done here for Zhuan, who does actually want to get some crit into this build.
Oh my god, that's a death cap as well for Tia. He will one-hit Twitch. I just, like...
Yeah, he needs that more amount what he is.
The name of this series has honestly just been kill the enemy AD carry. And WE are doing it better.
And now, Baron buff is available in another 14 seconds. Dandy takes a big round of damage. And Xie can do that over and over again as there's the Ghostblade. Uses the ultimate. They're looking for a pick.
Teleports in. They got a big flank here.
Yeah, 957 really wants to find something. The rest of the follow-up isn't quite as quick as they would like as the Twisted Advance gets him on top of Dandy. Nice Unbreakable again from Caveman as Condi looks for the knock-up, but here's the Destiny. In goes Xie, finds his way around the side. Gold. Oh, Wildcard's doing so much work, but there's the Emperor's Divide.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, this damage. And Mystic,
he's instantly
walls don't
gold-carding.
mean anything. He's just playing the rhythm in his head, man. The gold card rhythm
He's
is
tapping
happening.
his feet to gold cards. He has to be. But Chie's just like destroying them right now. WE dismantling Vici, and Lung, he's putting in work, but there's limits to what you're capable of doing.
Long.
There's no way. And that is disaster, honestly, for Vici in this second game. Baron will give them so much control of this map. The gold lead is stretched further. And this should be ultimately the undoing of Vici Gaming in this series.
And Xie's just been playing like an absolute monster all day, honestly. First series, the LeBlanc was fantastic, MVP performance, but now 8-1-6 on Twisted Fate. Really doing work. And it's going to be Mountain Drake number 2 for WE. And if Baron buff wasn't enough, they want extra double Mountain Drake siege potential to come in as well.
Yeah, why not? Xie should actually just recall and get himself
well, they got 3 minutes until they're allowed to win, Rusty.
They do. They absolutely do. Whatever he gets now is just overkill. Probably another needlessly large rod from
Void
the
stuff, maybe?
Yeah, it'll be a Void stuff. If it's an outright Void stuff, that's ridiculous.
Well, he sold a pink ward. Is he waiting for Void stuff money to tick up?
He might be.
That would be so silly.
It's the one thing he definitely needs, looking at the magic resistance on the other side of the team. He's waiting a lot of time. He's probably home guards teleporting, to be fair.
Yeah. Blasting Wand is there, so
one, yeah.
unable to get the...
Yeah, there's the teleport.
Yeah. Heads towards the top side as he's just committed to the split.
Has ult if it comes down to it anyway. And as far as lane assignments go, this is perfect for WE. They will destroy that top lane turret.
Oh my god, this Lich Bane tears it apart. That's 4 auto attacks, 5 auto attacks from Xie. He's now just going to continue smacking onto this turret. The Void stuff is actually there. He was able to complete it before he left the base.
Just be careful here, Xie.
Yeah, there's the Ghostblade pop.
Okay, no,
but Gold Card comes in. Wild Cards, it's going to be enough. Pops his Zonya's. And now Lung wants to find the stun. Doesn't get it as Gold Card once again comes in. Wild Card's coming out. Destiny's been popped. The rest of Vici falling apart as well. The inhibitor going down so low. She is just thinking about back and doesn't really quite know what to do. As Twisted Fate's just playing with this team.
Yep, he's absolutely playing okay. He's got Baron Empowered Recall, so he should get out.
Oh,
Barely
no.
makes it. That's the first inhibitor broken, the second top turret gone. And Xuan thought he was a damage-dealing Twitch, but didn't know what damage looked like until it hit him in the face with a card.
Yep.
And he instantly regrets that decision, as he is dead. Through a Maw of Malmortius, he is dead.
GA now has everything that he would need, as well as he's holding.
He doesn't want to lose his stacked deck. He really didn't want to lose his stacked deck. He wants to kill the Twitch. He is 100% about to ult this Twitch, I reckon.
Well, so it's only about a fifth of the cooldown. And then Destiny will definitely be able to give that to him. Condi clearing things out. Does have his Titanic Hydra, Dead Man's Plate done, as well as that Spirit Visage, which he really does like. 6 items on the rec side. Sort of casual 2-0-11. Feeling pretty damn good. Dandy getting destroyed as Destiny's there. Red card is going to be enough to be able to lock down that kill. As this, the Destiny just goes for a merry ride. A gold card perfectly placed. GA, this is his day right now on this Twisted Fate as the gold card is in there. Twisted Advance is going to be able to get him amongst it for 957. Caveman has never felt as dead in his life. As now the Sun Turret falls, Inhibitor is going to follow.
Gives GA a bit of momentum and watch him run away with an entire game. That is basically how this goes. WE, they should be able to end this one. I think they're going to, in very standard them, look for a third inhibitor. Condi wants minions and realizes it's not necessary.
Flash Twisted Advance, but Easy Hoon gets himself...
Oh my god!
What was that? That was one gold card.
Good night, sweet Hoon.
Oh my god. Okay, so GA now just going to 3-hit these turrets. The Nexus will follow in pretty similar fashion. As you can see, Dandy evaporates at the hands of this card dealer. My god, GA, the performance of his career, honestly, in that game. And WE get the 2-0 victory. Yeah,
dealing cards, dealing damage, and honestly just dealing a defeat to Vici in a convincing manner. That was just a great game from Team WE, and this seems to be the name of how they play. Slow, methodical, really on purpose, the way that they play. But once they get that game 1 victory, CA seems to just get this momentum that he carries through. And we've seen it now on multiple occasions. He actually just runs over an entire game by himself, just destroys the battlefield.
Yeah, and the first teleport, it's just all from there. Came out of that lane, 2-0-1, and despite the fact that Easy Hoon had some of the best farm I've ever seen on Azir, and was really trying to do all of the work as they take a well-deserved bow, there was just nothing that Vici could do in the wake of that Twisted Fate. It was just too hard. Of course, honorable mentions do go to 957, who was still able to get his teleport flanks down very, very effectively, especially in that level 1 fight. Mystic, his Ezreal, once again, absolutely fantastic. Condi playing a great Rek'Sai at the same time. And it just, all of the pieces of the WE puzzle fell together. And we have to once again commend this team on their ability to draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they set themselves up the best they possibly could to succeed in this game. All things considered, essentially, Shea was like the star on top of the Christmas tree, right?
Yeah.
Like he was the cream on top, basically. Like they all performed exceptionally well. He just stood out above the rest, and like that Twisted Fate was something else.
Yeah, and that's sort of what this whole team comp was built to do as well. I mean, it was around the fact that they could then get the Twisted Fate around the map. If he gets to a point where he's strong, then that's fantastic, because then no one can go there. Of course, Lung did bear the brunt of that. We saw at the very end of that game, the fact that you can cycle between 4 trillion damage per, round of spells in about 4 seconds, and he did it over and over again. His gold cards were fantastic. So, yeah, he was a really, really big star on the top of that Christmas tree, because the rest of the foundation was still fantastic.
I mean, they just had strategy implemented before that's what happened as well. Like they knew they could 1-3-1, they knew they could split push, they knew how they wanted to implement this against Vici, which is run them around and pull them around the map, actually exploit not a weakness, but force them to be uncomfortable by making them move around. Vici, they want to play slow, they want to set themselves up. We call them death by 1,000 cuts, because you give them a lead, they'll slowly cut away at that lead until it's bigger and bigger and take the game from you. WE, they are very similar in style, but they essentially did that to Vici, which says a lot.
Yeah. And it also started very, very quickly this time, which is something that we're not used to expecting out of WE. But I do actually want to continue on sort of Vici here as well, because we saw Dandy pick up the Graves twice in a row. We questioned it in game number 1. There wasn't a lot of priority on it. They decided to pick the Azir first pick, which of course you understand when it's Easy Hoon, but maybe there was a different option there. Maybe don't go towards the Graves over and over. Hopefully the Vici have possibly learnt something from this.
Yeah, and I suggested the Gragas as well when we first looked at it.
Yeah, at least something like that.
I still just think that's Dandy's style. At the end of the day, he just wants to farm, just wants to get himself to these items and be a big carry. Game number 1, the Graves was wonderful. Like, it actually still did its job.
Yeah, no, he did a lot of work.
It's just that the Rek'Sai did more. And game number 2 kind of felt the same way. But the end result really was that game was over with the second it started. The second there was a 1-0-1 Twisted Freight from a 5-minute engage where 10 people were bottom simply because they got there quicker. Like, the end result had nothing to do with Dandy.
Yeah, and we are going to have a look at the MVP here as well. And look, I will be pretty surprised if it isn't GA, and it's going to be. So back-to-back MVPs from the WE mid laner. Man that we've asked questions of. This guy's had sort of an interesting spotted past with some odd decision-making, but in today's matches, immaculate play.
Yeah, he's also one of the few people that play mid lane that have teleport on pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
He loves teleport. He played LeBlanc in his game number 1 and had teleport, which is very unusual, but generally just an unusually strong performance from this guy. The last time we saw him play this well was the Vladimir, which, you know, 26-minute victory speaks volumes to how capable he is. And the ceiling that GA has as an individual player. Even this ultimate was like really troll. He just thought he would recall over the other side. The damage that he was doing, the way he sets himself up, the positioning, knowing where he should be on the map. I don't know if he's the shot caller of this, but he's definitely at the right place at the right time every single time.
Yeah. And look, 957 with the sweet follow-up. And Easy Hoon, despite, look, that Emperor's Divide sort of cutting off a choke point, did quite well, but it was just too little too late. And I'm really sad that in that highlight reel, we didn't see Easy Hoon get one shot with that gold card, because that was probably the most repugnant amount of damage I've seen from one spell plus auto attack in my life. That's it.
Did you watch the LCS? The Jarvan one hit?
Oh, okay. That's different, though. That's just a dunk. That's like...
That was the best thing I have ever seen. Maybe it's because Ray's from the LPL. I don't know. Either way, I think Izzy Hoon actually is something that you touched on. I do want to allude to this as well. He had a very impressive defeat and series performance, even though it was a loss. Like, I think he could have maybe stepped up a little bit better, looked to rotate around the map, but he had to have a cleanse because there was a Twisted Fate. He didn't want to get ganked by the early pressure of a Rek'Sai. He farmed exceptionally well. He just didn't have a team to help back him up. And the end result is that he did his part, but his part's never enough. Endless and Xuan actually both struggled in this series. They just could not get over the line and lane. They tried to hide themselves from Mystic and Zero, who met them blind, and then swapped back and still met them and continued to lose lane. There was no winning scenario for Vici, unfortunately, through their duo lane.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite get anywhere. And also, we have to remember that Easy Hoon, and like the mid lane in general, got no attention from anyone. No one wanted to gank Easy Hoon. Like, the amount of respect that WE were actually giving to this mid laner, knowing that, yeah, he's got cleanse, will be very hard to set up, but they just decided not to try.
It's also it's also just the strategy that WE had. They didn't want to gank there. They wanted to use their mid laner to gank elsewhere because he was the pivot point. He was the point of power as well. So realistically, just don't put any jungle attention there. Clear the waves. This is a Twisted Fate anyway. Just throw your Q and red card, and he was far enough ahead that with the Abyssal Scepter first item, Easy Hoon wasn't an issue. He was farming well. He was going to become an issue. But that's just the nature of Azir when it hits late game anyway, is they actually just are always going to be a big deal. Instead, they have a big enough lead by the time that he was present to just get the Baron, win the game.
Yeah, and are we just looking at WE as having, you know, a sort of lucky early start here and capitalizing on it beautifully, still being a very similar team? Or do we add this as another string to their bow, this sort of super snowball style?
Well, I mean, we've seen it on more than one occasion at the moment. Yeah. So they understand how to snowball the game. They still do it very collected and particular in the way that they, very methodical in the way that they do this. It's surgical execution almost. The end result is always going to be a victory if they get ahead early, and that's a scary thing because that's not always what they've been able to do. So I think it is another string to that bow, essentially. They have early game pressure. If they can get ahead and win lanes, they've shown that they can push that further. Doesn't mean that It's actually another string to the bow, though. It's essentially just like a tweak of the bow.
Yeah.
In that, like, they still play it slow. They still get to late game. They still get the Baron and then win the game, or the Elder Dragon and then win the game. But they have early game power now. They actually know that you can utilize pressure that they have.
Yeah, and the more laning phase pressure that they have, the more important it's going to be, just because there is a certain team called RNG in their group, and this is a team that sort of every single game will win their lanes solo no matter what. They don't have to call any of the shots. They don't have to make any of the decisions because their team just wins. So WE now stepping up in that laning phase is really important. As we have a look at some of these highlights, GA did fall down very early on in this one. Lung had a dominating team fight.
Yeah, glimmers of hope for Vici.
Yeah.
Was all we really saw. We never saw them put it all together and collect themselves into an effective team fight.
Really cute play from Lung on a Mystic here.
Still very well done from Lung. And Lung and Easyhoon were the two big talking points for these teams. He performed well, and we even came into this and we said 9-5-7 versus Lung. Both want to be facilitators, both want a team fight, but it felt like Lung had an extra carry streak deep down there. Even, unfortunately, that was a missed execution.
Yeah, he didn't go into the brush. I was thinking that you can see Xie is having a bit of a laugh after that particular play, but my God, he played incredibly well. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to say that, all right, he just assumed that they didn't have enough damage to take him down. That's
no, I meant actually it was a mechanical misplay by Lung. He dashed away towards his parallel convergence, wasn't in range. That was probably the difference between, living and dying there. Either way, Vici, I still think they have a lot of positives.
Yeah,
I can't take anything from this series and say that Vici are a bad team by any means.
Yeah.
They just got bested at their own style by WE. So what I can say is that we compare these two teams that are very similar. They're very high-level, strategic map movement teams.
Yeah.
WE just out-executed that massively.
Yeah, they just managed to be the ones that took it this time around. Of course, Vici have some more opportunities. It's still very early days. We're only up to week 3. And of course, we're very close to the end of week 3, but I mean, there are so many more weeks, much more play to come in, And
they will be playing against each other one more time as they're in the same group. So you play them
excited.
twice, the other group once. That'll be pretty cool, to say the least, watching this come back and see if Vici can adapt that style, because I do still think a lot of this came down to the initial drafting.
Yeah, exactly right. And Vici have always been a team that really do like to have that late run. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it from Rusty and I. We're going to be handing over the reins